Okay, go ahead.
It's my show. No, I'm just kidding.
Go ahead.
Anyways, I didn't mean to say it that way at all. I appreciate you guys being here. I read 2-3 days ago where China and Japan just bought 60% of their expenditures on the yen instead of, or the euro, I stand corrected, instead of the dollar. And that's never happened in history. So
I thought it was the yen.
no, I believe it's the euro.
Okay.
They went,
All
and
right.
you may be right, but all I know is I saw in the email that they're not buying our dollar anymore. Not as much as they did, so this is all part of the...
You were speaking of the Chinese, and I used to put this in front of my high school kids. You might relate to this. I would give them the old story about the, I believe it's a Chinese proverb, about if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a life. And the kids would say, yes, that's right. And I said, no, it's not. What if the man doesn't want to fish? What if he still wants your fish? Whether he is capable or not is beside the point. If he still wants your fish, can he really demand it?
Well, in this day and age, it appears so.
And I think that's what's going on.
Well, I'm sure you guys all been to the store. I've been to the store where I'm buying bread and butter, you know, and there's some, well, it happened a couple months back now. I'm standing in line, I don't know what store it was, but I believe it was, well, one of the grocery stores. And here I am with my bread and butter, and I think I had a box of cereal, and somebody in front of me, it was, I thought, a husband and wife. It could have possibly been, who knows, married or not, it doesn't matter. They're buying lobster and all, and I'm going, wow. I asked him, I said, hey, you guys having a party? He goes, yeah. Then they pull out their EBT card, and I go, wow. You know, and I know people, don't get me wrong, guys out there, I know there are people that really need the help. But then it appears that the government wants everybody on the government dole. Now, would you guys agree or disagree on that?
The government seems to want everybody on the government dole, and that seems to be a historical perspective that you can go back and find.
Well, that seems to be the divide today, where you have one political party supporting a kind of nanny state based on need. Need is liberally defined. And then you have another party that says, you know what, I believe in my freedom, I believe in my independence, I believe in my right to make my own choices. You know, I didn't go to college for 7 years to defer my choices to a government. And if you look at the course of American history, you know, people should be held accountable. I don't know how a political system can survive unless it's based on personal accountability. I don't know how anything can survive unless it's based on a personal accountability. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people that believe that the government is the cure-all for everything rather than personal responsibility. And so we're divided. Our nation is divided between those that believe that government is the answer and those that believe that personal responsibility.
And the government is telling us that.
Individual initiative. And then we have these elections, and elections can be very telling. I just, you know, freedom means a lot to me, liberty means a lot to me, and I hate to see us lose our ability to make choices for our own selves.
Who was the one that, I always get this wrong, that said if we give up security for, how does it go around? You should know it. We deserve neither. That one phrase.
I know what one you're talking about. If we, it escapes me. I don't remember the exact quote.
Well, I only got a minute left on this show, and will you guys be able to make the next show?
Yes.
Sure hope so.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank Ron Clayson. I'd like to thank Mike Todhunter and
Todhunter.
This is because I'm from Hawaii again.
He's got
I keep on using that.
He's just gotten the habit of doing that. That's right.
And Paul Harms. And can we go to camera? Thank
Mahalo.
Mahalo. That'd be. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Please stick around for the next show, where I'll have these three guests once again. Thank you. God bless, and for our republic. Clear. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do. I'm just gonna go right back into it now. Ready?
Actually, Todd, we need you to move
Your mic
up just about 2 inches.
Okay. Were you able to hear me?
We could hear you, but it was kind of hollow, so
Okay.
it would just be better if it were up a little. Yeah, that should be good right there.
And Paul, how was I?
You were fine. It
Okay.
was just the one, and I had told you to move it down, and I'm sorry.
Well, are we going to be able to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll still hear it. It will just sound a little bit better.
My operatically trained voice.
Anytime, Mike. Dave.
Sure.
Anytime, David.
Okay.
Okay. That went quick 28 minutes, wasn't it?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't mean to interrupt, but I have to keep this on track. Ron, you need to talk more. Get into it, brother.
These guys are doing a good job.
Yeah, I like how you guys interact. That's what I like.
I was a little concerned, and I wanted to be sure that, in other words, any comments that I was going to make, I wanted to try to relate it to what was being said around the table. So I kept listening. All right, now how do I make this relate?
You did really good with this one.
I wanted, with my ADD and my dyslexia, I want to write some of my notes down to be sure that I say it right.
Go ahead, Lyndon.
Comment was, your opening statement was discussing Eric Holder and so forth.
Right.
And you missed the very best chance to draw a conclusion from what you ended up.
I need to put on my hearing aids. I can't hear him.
Okay.
So you want to bring a Holder again, and we can get straight to.
Are we doing some more?
Yeah, we've done another 28 minutes. We're just going to continue.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put these in.
I don't know. We beat that pretty. We beat
Okay.
that pretty good.
So I'm
You
gonna
might want
move
to
on.
just move on.
I'm going to move on and let's discuss the various agencies and how it falls within constitutional principles or not. EPA, all these other agencies, and then you guys can chime in. All right. I'd be more organized, but
You're doing good.
between
Well informed.
Patty and Tana, and
Doing fine. Good.
I do apologize, and I thank you guys for short. And I didn't mean to say my show. You know what I mean? I was just being silly.
Don't apologize.
it's
We're
the
fine.
truth.
We're fine.
We're okay. We're
But
not
please
sensitive.
understand, I really appreciate you guys being here. Anyways, want to talk about the UN and property. Should we bring up property
One of the
tax?
things that I'm noticing.
If you want to.
Okay.
One of the things that I'm noticing here is that Mike, and to a certain extent yourself, are talking about specific instances of where there are question marks or transgressions against law or constitutional procedure and stuff like that. And I think we two here are a little bit more interested in the philosophical or emotional underpinnings that would prompt people to digress from, I can't say the masses or asses, but
It just was recorded, but that's okay. I'll cut it out because we're still running.
but this is not the show, is it?
No,
I
of
didn't
course
think
not. No.
No. And I understood that it would be cut out. Gosh, I was watching Sean Hannity one night, and Bob Beckel popped off with an expletive, deleted the F word in public. I couldn't believe it. He was so embarrassed. And Sean went, he says, he gave you 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you pay attention?
It happened. That's why I like
Anyway,
taping.
my point is that is this okay that he synthesizes the philosophical, but he fleshes it out more with the specifics, the Fast and Furious and who did what and said what and when and things like that. That's why I wanted to bring up the fact that he was as well informed as he is.
Well, let me ask you
But
this.
I was talking more about the foundation stones, and that's what I think you were
I'm
doing.
thinking more in terms of principles and
Yeah.
So,
and
all right,
you know,
what I'm gonna do,
and my
well,
head's kind of all over the place, so I didn't really get a chance to pull myself together here. as I-
when we start
yeah.
the next 28-minute block, I'm going to go to each of you and you bring up what's on your mind. Okay?
All right.
How's that, Mike?
Sounds
Cool?
good.
Ron, you got something you want to discuss?
Okay, yeah, go ahead and do the other guys first.
Hey, David. Okay. I'm going to wait till David gets back. So that's what I'll do. And again, I apologize. My head's in 40 different mindsets right now. I'm trying to keep my composure. Ugh. Indecisions really suck. We can roll anytime? Are we
We
still?
lost David. I don't know where he's at.
That's
I'll
fine.
find him.
No, that's fine. We're fine. Are the cameras all set up good? Yeah, just.
No, we need to have him in here because he,
Okay.
Just give me a sec. I'll go find him.
That's fine. Thank you, Kathy. They're really nice people here. I'm telling you, these guys really do a good job. I mean, they help us all the time. And there was another guy that used to work here, Dave. He did really good too, and then he's up fishing now.
So you have two Daves.
Carlson,
David and Dave. Yeah, Dave Carson. Yeah.
he's the one that's gone right
Yeah,
now
he went
then, huh?
up to Alaska to fish. I guess his family's got boats, or he's got boats.
Cool.
I'd like to do more of this, maybe once every couple of weeks, even more if we want. I got a total of 3 hours I can do on the show, and then I'm starting a new network called Free American Network, FAN. Yeah, that's the acronym, FAN. And I'm getting the logo and all the stuff done right now, so it's probably be another couple of weeks. But whereas I can talk more in general, see, with Oath Keepers, I have to stay within certain parameters, or else the board of directors will eat me alive, as if I need more people on my back. But anyways. And Mike, I thought about something for you. You might want to come in here and start doing constitutional classes. I can get you with Kathy.
Anytime.
No, you by yourself.
I don't mind.
Yeah, just come in, set up a little thing, say hi, call your show something called Hi, I'm Constitution Caring, or whatever you want to call the
Right.
show, and come in and do a 30-minute block.
Absolutely, I'd love to do that.
You should do that, yeah.
Sure. Just let me
And
know
then-
when you got the time.
Well, I don't even have to be. I'm saying you start your own show, if you wanted to. If not, we can always do it. That's fine with me. But I'm just saying, because the more shows they put on, the better it is for the community, too. So, Ron, you can do yours, Making America. Seriously, I mean, it's really, it's simple. It's simple now because I've done about 30 of these, but. And Paul? Sorry, buddy. Fixing Fences.
I'll come here and hum
That's
a
what we
few
call the
bars.
show, Fixing Fences,
Fences.
about mending the political.
Yeah. Musicians are always happy because they go from bar to bar.
One way or the other.
I guess. I guess.
Man, I tell you, this is my throwaway phone. I'm kidding. Oh, God. Please, God, help me.
Are we still waiting for David?
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
guys. Because that way, when he's here, you can move the camera and focus on, Other than that, it'll be fixed cameras, so it's kind of like, hello.
So, are we wanting to look at the camera or look at each other, or
All right,
what do you
if
think?
you really want to say something to the audience, you just look right into the camera and say, hey, dudes, it's
Look
me.
into the red
Yeah,
light,
really,
huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. And what I'll do is I'll upload, after I get these 2 shows, the next couple of days, if I'm not dead by then, a couple of days, I'll upload it to YouTube, and then I'll send you guys an email with the link on it so you guys can watch what we did.
So now, are they making a DVD of this? I think I heard you say that. So,
Yeah.
so we could get the DVD if we.
Yeah, you pay $15 if you want to pay $15 for the show. But what I'm saying, after I get the DVD, which I'll take home this evening or this afternoon, I'll format
on
it,
YouTube,
then I'll put it on YouTube. Yeah. So, and then I'll send you the link.
Make a copy on the YouTube.
Yeah, you can do that. It's a lot simpler and cheap, free. I started doing YouTube about 6 months ago, and I've got like 1,100 whatever guys that watch. That's just people that subscribe to my channel. So, that's right. You can. Cool. Well, you know what? How about if I hand you that on the way out? Okay. There we go. Welcome.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay, David.
Okay, are you ready then?
Yeah, I'm ready. Anytime you're ready.
5, 4.
Welcome to Oath Keepers Now. I'm Mike Chism. I'll be your host today on the show. Last week, I had 3 friends of mine, and they're back again, and we're talking basically about constitutional principles, current events, and many other things that my friends here might want to bring up. Basically, staying within the guidelines of the Constitution and the principles that it sets forth. First, I'd like to introduce Ron Clayson.
Hello.
Ron has a show. I stand corrected. I have the show. Anyway, Ron has a class every Friday at 1 o'clock to about 2:30. It depends.
Yeah.
And it's at 150 North Main. And it's called The Making of America. I suggest you all give it a chance and show up because it's an excellent class. And I've been going to your classes now for a couple of years, huh, Ron?
That's true. Yeah, you were one of the first.
One of the first, yeah.
That's right.
Well, I was blessed getting to know you. Next to
Great
me
having
is
you
Mike.
Todhunter.
I can never. I'm sorry.
It's a
Mike.
Hawaiian thing.
It's
I
a
know.
Hawaiian thing. And I have with me Paul Harms. And without further ado, I thought I'd turn the show over to Ron first and see what's on his mind for today.
Yeah, one thing that's been on my mind lately is I've got a real good, actually a very good friend of mine who was complaining about, about the Congress being at loggerheads with each other and saying, there's, nothing's getting done and all the obstruction and all of that type of thing. And I made the comment to him that, boy, I said, I want most of the things that are going on to be obstructed. I want. In fact, I'm thinking about writing a song called "Obstructionation" and seeing what we could do with that. But
by the way, Ron, you're an accomplished singer, accomplished songwriter, and he has his own band, guys. And you guys you play sometime at the Coho?
Coho and other places, and our focus actually is on, I'd say, either protest or patriotic.
You're the modern day Bob Dylan.
We try to be from a conservative point of view.
But he's not a monotone.
Oh, you're the monotone.
So anyway, also recently I've been reading a book called The 21st. Yeah, well, okay, we've been doing this class on the making of America, and what that does is it looks at the Constitution, takes the, as you know,
look at the camera. They won't
okay,
bite.
as you do, takes the Constitution on a clause-by-clause basis, and then it gives a couple pages of what the founders said about that particular point. And I'm the type of guy that I always like to look at both sides of an issue, and so I've got a book called the 21st Century Constitution, and it's from a person who believes in a living constitution and that it should evolve and change according to the times and so on and so forth. Actually, I believe the Constitution allows for that through the amendment process, but still, when it comes back to it, there are these two philosophies. The one philosophy that the gentleman had from the 21st century Constitution is that he wants a country where the government is lean and mean and efficient, able to make decisions, get things done, so on and so forth. Whereas the founders, in truth, did want to slow down government. So the question for you, for me, for each one of us is, do we want a lean, mean government? And initially it's easy to say yes, but think about it. Do we want an agency, a group of people who have the ability to take away our things, our stuff, through taxes or through taxes, confiscation, regulations, fines, so on and so forth? Do we want that entity to be lean and mean? Or do we want to be able to slow them down and have some checks on them? So
that's the challenge you have.
That's the challenge I would have for all of us. And the only way to know on that really is to understand what the Constitution is all about, and then insist on our representatives doing their job. I had a experience here about a year ago where I met with one of our local state senators, not the one that goes to Washington, but one of them that stays here in the state of Idaho. And she asked, what is your biggest concern? And I made the comment, my biggest concern is that we stand up for states' rights, for our local rights. And her eyes kind of glazed over, and it was obvious. Well, one of the things she said is, I don't know anything about that. Let them take care of it. And that is something that we cannot stand for as citizens. We need to have our representatives, starting from a local basis to our state senators and representatives that are going back to Washington. We need to have people who will stand up for local rights because we're being encroached on.
And not only that, Ron, we need people like all of us here to continually monitor our elected officials. Yes, monitor you guys, as you know that this is the only way. We have to be informed, like we were talking earlier in the last show about how important it is when we vote for, be it an incumbent or somebody, it doesn't matter. We need to know who we're voting for, not just by name recognition.
Yes.
And when they get in, we need to hold these people accountable, like you were saying. And if we don't do our homework to watch, well, did they vote? Okay, was the bill or whatever was up for vote, was it a constitutional bill? And was it not? And how did they vote? Go ahead, Mike.
Well, you're asking me what my concerns are, and I share the same concern Ron has about states' rights. I believe that that our system, our Constitution, is set up with a centralized government through the federal the federal level of government, and then we have the 50 states, and that was part of constitutional balance. And states' rights is important because it gives us the ability to test run our programs. And with state government, then you could have 50 models, and then you examine which ones work, which ones don't. And like when I buy a hat, I never bought the idea that one size fits all, and I don't believe in that one set of rules for all states, which have geographical differences, cultural differences. Some are more urban, some are more rural. That I believe that the states' rights model and more government coming from the states preserves our freedom. And another big concern I have, of course, is this whole debt. We've had $5 trillion added in debt. 43% of all debt accrued in the United States has been accrued over the last 4 years. That's going to be passed on to our grandchildren
and great-grandchildren
and our children. That is a moral crime. That is just despicable, and it's worse than that. I mean, the federal government spending has gone from 19% to 24%, and that means less money at the state level. That means less money in our own hands to make our own decisions.
What's their GDP now, Mike?
Right now, our debt, the $15.5 trillion debt, is equal to our gross domestic product, which means that if you took all of the goods and services produced and could add up the monetary value of all of